What's up, everybody? It's Vortex Steve. We're back. I know it's been a little while, but we got another video on the Ranger today, so we're gonna get working on that and hopefully have a good quality project. So we're not doing anything too crazy today. We're not tearing into the engine or anything. I might off camera look at a slight coolant leak that I have here. I think this hose is actually failing on me. It's got a little bit of water on it. I'm thinking it's the hose. Those hoses are fairly old. They were a little crunchy when I put everything back together, so I should have replaced it then, but I didn't. But we are actually going to be getting rid of this outdated factory radio. So major reason for doing this is because you can sit there and turn that volume knob all you want, and it does whatever it wants. It doesn't really go, doesn't always necessarily turn it up. Sometimes it turns it up 10 bars fast where you want it to be, and you blow your eardrums out. But we're going to be replacing that. And this is actually out of my other truck, my O2. This has been sitting in my toolbox for a little while, so it's a little dirty. But just a single dim radio. Got a new install kit for it. And we got an aux cord here and some other miscellaneous stuff because we are actually going to be setting it up for satellite radio. I've got one of the tuners that, you know, just plugs into this in my Focus. And to double the value I get out of it, I'm going to make it so it'll fit in both vehicles. So we've got the antenna, we've got the cigarette lighter that we're going to hardwire in so that we'll be able to have that switched with the key like the radio will be. The aux cord will get run through the headliner, and my plan is to hang it from the rearview mirror a lot like what I have in the Focus. And we're going to be using some ram mounts to do that. Now I think while we're in here I'm going to do a couple other little things. Obviously I'm going to run the satellite antenna through the headliner and out where the third brake light is. I've done it on my O2 as well as my Super Duty. It's worked well. I haven't had any leaks from those, so we're going to do that. But I'm also going to get rid of some of the tinniness in this roof. So I'm also going to add some kill mat to it, as long as I can find my stash that I've got left over. So we'll put some kill mat on the roof. I'm also going to fix this little piece of headliner. It's just hanging down, so I think we're going to spray some headliner glue stuff on there and see if we can't fix that. Other than that, the headliner in this truck is actually really nice. There's a few little odd stains and stuff, but I'm not going to worry about that. Might even see if I can find an LED for up here for this dome light. So I've been going back and forth on this actual radio surround as well. I'm not sure what I want to do with it. I feel like I want to either paint it. I mean, it's peeling down here, and it's got scratches in it. So I've really got three options. I can sand it down, paint it, sand it down, and wrap it, or I could buy a new one. They're not that expensive on Amazon, so I could do that if I really wanted to. But part of me wants to kind of make it custom. So we'll figure that out. That probably will not get done in this video. So for reference, we're here in my Focus. This is how I've got it set up in the Focus. So that little ball gets bolted onto the little shaft there for the rear view mirror, comes out, and it just gets bolted up there, and it sits like that. So I want to duplicate that in the Ranger, but I don't know that I'll have enough room between the mirror and the headliner to do that, because obviously I don't want to block the mirror if I can avoid it. So it would technically fit up there. It would probably take a little bit of adjusting, but I'm not sure I like that. I don't know. We'll see. It's like pointed like at the back seat, like just the angle it's at a weird angle. Maybe I'll play with that a little bit, and then we'll start taking everything else apart. Looks like that's about what we're gonna have there. That's with it mounted in there. That's not too bad. I'm able to point it towards me a little bit. I think we're good. So after looking at my options online, I actually went ahead and sprayed this down with some Herculiner, the bed liner stuff. I think that'll actually turn out pretty good. We'll see what happens with it. I did obviously put the radio in, testing it out, made sure everything worked. I've got all 4 channels of audio, and really we're ready to start the rest of the assembly. So I'm going to start taking the plastic and everything off for like the A-pillar on both sides. It actually comes all the way back. So we're going to have a bunch of stuff to take apart, but let's get this headliner out of here. Alright, so I didn't record it because of my phone being dead, but the headliner is out. And actually there is already some sound deadening up there, but I think we'll still put some more stuff up there. Here's the headliner. I got the one little spot up here that I need to repair. And I did pick up some stuff on my way home from work today, but just have to re-glue that, put it back down, try to get as many of the wrinkles out as I can. I think we'll be in good shape. So obviously you can see how long that antenna wire is. You could route this, you could probably do a lot, like even in an RV. So easily you could put that antenna wherever you wanted. We're gonna put it through the hole back there for the third brake light. I have a new third brake light coming, and you can probably see that I'm doing some other stuff with lights up here. I already had the new lights put in, but I've got a couple lights that are being finicky. So we're gonna see if we can't get those replaced while we've got everything else apart. So I need to do a little cleaning up there around the light, but we'll run that wire through there for the antenna. And also I'm gonna add a wire running from the dome light, because the third brake light that we're putting in also has a cargo light. So that's where I ran it in. I might actually run it over one notch, so it's actually running with this power wire. And then I can run that pretty much straight to where I need it to go up front. And then I'll also run the extra wire from this. This right here is the dome light. I'll be able to run that back up through here, just along through here as well. And I can run that straight to that connector. So this here is the kill mat. This is just a sound deadener. And it comes in sheets. So I use this stuff on my O2. I definitely think it's helped deaden some noise, but it's just a sheet. It's got a little backing on here, sticky on one side. It's basically tar, kind of like a rubberized mat, I guess. We're gonna use this on the headliner. Eventually I'll put this on other pieces like the back panel and stuff like that, but we'll see, we'll get there. So the key to this stuff is this roller. It's got little knurlings in it. And once you apply this stuff, you just run this across it. And obviously you can see where you've been because it'll leave marks in it. But that is how you know that it's actually sticking and applied. So let's put one in. All right, so this side of the roof is done. Obviously, I went over the stuff that was already in the truck. So that side there still has the factory stuff on it. I'm just going to put it over it. It's not going to hurt anything. All this does is add mass to make it so it doesn't resonate as much. And this stuff does deaden some sound. All right, everybody, so it's actually a couple days later. Been waiting on some stuff to come in for the truck, mainly the third brake light. So that's here now. Let me show you some of the stuff that I didn't record and some of the other progress that we've made. So where we left off, the antenna was up there, and then I started running the wire for the dome light, so we'll be adding that in. And you see the coil and everything is still here. So we ran the antenna wire and that through here and up. So this is where it's going to branch off. This is the antenna wire here, as I can reach it. That one's the antenna wire. And then the wire here for the dome light is going to run across and over this. That's what the factory light, dome light, screws into. And it's kind of a, I don't think I've ever actually seen them like this before, but the screw goes into it. Actually, let me see if I can get the dome light. So this is the dome light itself. You can see those big metal bars. One goes to the ground and the other one goes right into that block. So my plan, instead of actually splicing into the wire that runs along the roof here, I'm actually going to get a little spade lug and basically run it into there and then run it right into that screw. That should make it nice and easy so we don't have to worry about splicing into something that we don't have access to, because it's not something that I want to be taking out every time I have a cargo light not working or something. I don't really want to be pulling that headliner out every single time to do that. So that should suffice for making it so we don't have to do that. Something else I did was ran the wires for the radio. So they're running in there in such a way that I might actually need to make them a little bit longer so that they'll clear the headliner itself up in the very front edge, but we'll see about that. But I have it run up. I just taped it back there so that it would actually stick there. Use some of that Gorilla tape. That stuff's really strong. Ran the wire for the antenna through there. All that excess I actually coiled up and stuck in this nice little pocket, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about the excess bouncing around. So I do have the aux cord and the power running down through, that's going to run down through the A-pillar. So the biggest problem is this isn't very long. And I did the same thing in my Focus, where I just took one of these cigarette lighters and I'm going to wire this up so that it sits up here behind this panel, and that actually should reach just fine. I'll be able to wire it in down here and then run the aux cord down through underneath here and into the back of the radio, so that once the radio is actually in, we'll be in good shape. So this is what we're going to use to power that radio. So the red 10 amp fuse is for the radio. That's still going to power just the radio. And then the 15 amp is going to be powering the satellite receiver. So this just plugs in right where that 10 amp was. And that's the factory 10 amp. That's the one that was in there for the radio. And then you simply just use a butt splice connector here to basically run wire to the other side for whatever device you want to power off that circuit. And obviously it's important to use that circuit because it's going to power on and off with the radio. And that makes it so we don't have to worry about leaving a device on. It's not like it's just plugged into a cigarette lighter. And that little receiver up there will basically be able to be controlled just like it's part of the truck. So as you can see with that panel off, there's plenty of room. We'll be able to zip tie this in there, as well as the little cigarette lighter. So let's get that installed. All right, so we're back under the dash. I've got that in there. That's the sheriff fuse. I haven't tied it down yet, but the wires run across, terminated over there into the connector, and we are going to test this out. I should be able to just plug this in. I need to connect the aux cord to the back of the radio, but we can test this. All right, let's see if everything powers up. Got the radio there, got the satellite tuner right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, radio's powered up. It says Bluetooth. Our tuner's powered up. So, all right, everybody, it's been a couple days. Been kind of fighting some little issues on the radio install. But I think we have all the parts I need now to be able to finish it up. We've already got the third brake light in, because that's blinding me right now. Let me move my phone. We have some stuff to do to basically run wiring to the head unit. This head unit does not have an aux plug in the back of it, making it so I need to do some modification up here to be able to do that, to run it to the front. And basically what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to drill a couple holes in the back of this. Probably drill one over here and another one over here. This one's going to have the aux plug go through it. This one over here is probably going to have the microphone go through it. I went ahead and picked up a microphone because I didn't have the one for this radio anymore. But I'm going to run this through there, and then we're just going to have to do a little loop to be able to get the aux cord to the front of the head unit. I don't want to do it that way. I wanted it nice and clean, wanted it hidden in the back. But that is not the way Pioneer made their head unit, so there is no plug back there. Alright, so I got some holes drilled in there. That one had to be a little bigger just because of the massive connector to go through. That's where the aux cord will go through. So that one's a lot smaller. And then I'll put a zip tie on there and make it so it doesn't have to, I don't have to worry about it getting tugged on. And then here's the front. You won't see that from inside the truck, but you'll see the microphone, which is sitting in there. And then we'll just have that little loop coming from here right into the face of the radio. So I got a lot of cleanup to do in here. I got a power wire to run. That was one of my biggest issues, was I was having issues with getting power to be reliable up at the actual tuner. So I think we're good there now. It's just a matter of getting everything else cleaned up. And I guess what I'll do is I'll put you guys over there or something on the tripod and time-lapse time. everybody, so there's the new radio in there. I wanted to use the bezel that came with the kit, but I couldn't get the thing to fit in there. So that's in there. That's roughly where that's going to sit. Obviously, need to put the headliner back in. So we'll be getting there on that. Got a couple screws to put in that for the surround. And then headliner and final test. Alright, I'm going to go in with the headliner. I'm going to try doing it on my own. But we're going to see how well that works out. Got the seats laid back. I'm going to go in from the passenger side so I don't have to fight the steering wheel. Plus the dash is pushed forward a little bit more on that side. So let's see what we can do. Alright, I'm going to start putting all the other little pieces back on, including the dome light. Dome light helps hold up the center of this, so I think I'm going to start with that. Well, everybody, the radio's installed. The interior, as you can see, is back in. Headliner's back in, dome light. I need to get a new pin for over there. But everything is back in, and it works. Obviously, I can't really show you, because copyright. So I can show you that it turns on and everything, but that's about it. So if you liked watching this video, sorry I didn't go into a whole lot of detail, but this was supposed to be a quick project and ended up being kind of a frustrating one because of stuff not working right and other stuff. But like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and let's keep up the channel growth. It's going good. So there's the proof that everything works. Tuner's on. It's coming through this. It's set up pretty nice, and then obviously the antenna ended up sitting pretty nice up there, atop the roof. There's the new third brake light. Tomorrow I'm going to work on getting everything cleaned up, and then this thing will be back on the road.